This episode is sponsored by Property Filter. Find great deals faster.
Hello and welcome to the Financial Freedom Podcast, sponsored by us at Property Portfolio Building. This podcast is designed by real people on their journey to achieving financial freedom, and we'll focus on people who've either already attained it, who are joining us on that journey, or maybe a specialist topic that can help you build your technical knowledge to achieving and maintaining that financial freedom. We hope you enjoy it. Hi folks, and welcome back to the Financial Freedom Podcast. Before we start, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so now to stay in touch with our latest episodes. Today we're going to be covering one of our technical episodes, and it's actually to do with the founder's story, why we set up a portfolio building business, why we've launched a podcast, and everything in between. Joining me today, therefore, is my co-host Tim Witt. Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Are you ready to
be
grilled?
here? Ready to be grilled. Yeah, absolutely.
So founder story. So obviously we've done a previous interview about previous life and things like that, but we want to focus more about why we are doing this.
Yeah.
But before we do that, tell me more about your life immediately before setting up and deciding to move into property, trying to get out of the rat race or whatever it was that you decided. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So this I'll probably start around about 2015 or something like that.
Okay.
So at that time, I'd moved to the UK because I was from Australia. G'day. Moved over in 2014. My first initial things was I rented a room.
Oh yeah.
With shared facilities. Sharing a bathroom, sharing the kitchen, stuff like that.
Where was this?
In not far from here, actually, in Hill Green in Cheadle.
Yeah,
not far from the airport. Of someone I knew, and I just immediately I was like, £500 a month. Oh, geez, this is taking the piss. This is pricey. Bills included as well. And I looked at it. I'm like, I just did some research online very, very quickly, like your spare room, whatever. I'm like, okay, it's market rate. It's fair. He's just straight market rate. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough. That's good. Because in Australia, the rent isn't like as high proportionally, I would say, to what rents are here. So I had that profit. I was living in that. And then I moved out with my now wife, Amy. About a year later, we got a flat and sale. Again, I can't remember what it was, say 2-bed flat, average condition. It was like £800 a month or something like that. And again, I did the maths. So I'm like, it's worth this. Quickly deducted some allowances. Because I was a landlord, I had my property in Australia that I was renting out, so I knew the base costs and the background of
what I work in. You lived in before you came to the UK?
Yeah,
right.
Which is still rented out today. I did some quick sums. I'm like, yeah, they're making a few £100s a month. That's decent cash flow for something like this. So those couple of things, I'm like, and I had an interest in property anyway. I already owned a property construction background and stuff like that. I already had that interest. So then I'm like, I just want to get into this space, but where do I go next? And what do I do? I was very busy in the day job. So I was working as a project manager, enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was traveling around the country. It was okay to start with because, I got to visit new areas of the UK and all those sort of things. And
a pretty small place though, isn't it?
Yeah. And I didn't have kids at the time. So it started off as a bit of a novelty. And then after a while, I'm like, no, I'm sick of this. I don't want to be traveling around all the time. Didn't really have much flexibility working in that job as well. So I'm like, property is going to give me, hopefully, that avenue for flexibility. I also had this deep ingrained thing in me that I wanted to have financial security and things like that because I'd seen family members with redundancies, seen other people that I worked with redundancies and those sort of things. So I always wanted to be sort of self-employed and, potentially a business owner and take things into my own hand, basically. So, that's why I had that drive to do it. And my real blockers and things like that at the times were like, I just didn't really have the education and knowledge to do it. I knew how to relatively work on building projects and stuff like that. So
you were in big scale property development though, right?
Yeah, predominantly.
So why would you want to do small scale property development then?
Yeah, it's a good question. So
why become a property investor on a small scale?
Yeah, because that would be directly, for me, it would give me cash flow return, and an asset in place. It's a home for people. And also because I was working on big developments, and I saw what was involved in those at the big scale, it didn't interest me as much And also at the time, it was just like, I can't do those big developments because I don't have the funds and stuff like that. So that was probably another factor. Whereas I'm like, if I can just generate a bit of money, that will kick me off onto these, this really small scale, which initially was just space buy to lets, which is the buy, refurbish, refinance type model, is what I did initially. Then I moved into bigger stuff as well.
Okay. So you were doing a couple of single lets.
Yeah.
But you said one of the challenges was mindset, but you were already doing it. So what do you mean by that?
Initially, there was a bit of a mindset blocker that I couldn't really do it myself. So I got past that blocker and started to do some small stuff.
Yeah.
And then the next blocker was like, I can only really use my own money. So I'm like, I think I did 4 buy-to-lets for the pot of money and added a bit of value and recycled it. And then I ran out of money. And the blocker at that point was physically like, I don't have any money.
Well, that's the typical story.
And I don't think I can raise any more money or until I've saved up more or whatever, or until I sell one of these or something like that, or until it grows in value. Yeah. That was a big blocker for me.
Yeah, and it's hard, isn't it? Because if you think about the average mortgage available to a landlord today, in today's around 75%.
Yeah.
So if you're doing even a development, if you add on the cost of development, you need to be at the 30% mark in development uplift to recycle those funds. And it's almost impossible to get 30% on a small single let as an uplift.
And I suppose working in the industry, like I wasn't unrealistic of my expectations. I'm like, I can get good return here and that's good. Like I'm not going to think I can get all money out.
Yeah.
I just knew that I had a base return that I wanted to achieve. If it was that or higher, it's a good deal. So that got me going. But yeah, the block was purely, I've run out of money and I don't know how to get more money.
Okay. So then, so then we're talking from that point then is we're looking at how you became that. So you've done self-education, self-development.
Yeah, well, I think about 2016, 2017 or somewhere thereabouts, I had read Property Magic by Simon Zucci, who said you can use other people's money. So I saw this as a thing in a book that I read, and it sort of like went to the back of my mind. And then as I ran out of money, I sort of like remembered, I remember reading the book. He said, you can use other people's money, but I'm like, I don't get how that works. And then I investigated a bit more in the self-education space from that perspective. Joined the Property Investor Network as an example.
And that was, when you say join the Property Investor Network, what do you mean? So you attended a PIN meeting?
Yeah, I think probably the first one was like 2019 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there or thereabouts.
Okay, and where did you go from there? Because
Not very far.
Yeah, from just one PIN meeting.
I think I went to one initially.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't like it. I was a bit awkward in it, to be honest. Like I talked to a couple of people. There's nothing really.
It's out of your...
It was very out of my comfort zone.
Tim today and Tim then are different people, all right? So Tim today is a bit more outgoing, right?
Yeah.
And probably...
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't horrible at networking because I'd worked on a building project and talked to people and stuff like that. So I wasn't horrible, even though it's not my comfort zone. So yeah, it sort of kicked it off. It started it. And then I sort of didn't do too much else until about 2020.
It's because the Manchester North PIN wasn't available at the time.
That's possibly. Very true. Very true, because I went to the Manchester one. Yeah.
Okay, so, but you moved it on from there. You decided somewhere along that line that actually this is the space for me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And, I got something out of the meeting. And I think I re-looked at the book. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad as well. I'm like, there's fundamentals here. And then it sort of parked a bit, and I was still really busy with work and stuff like that. People use those excuses, don't they?
Yeah, same.
And then boom, the pandemic hit in 2020. And it's like, I was still busy with work, but I was obviously at home a lot, and there was more spare time outside of work. And that's when I just started looking more into, Simon Zucci and people like that, and found out about the Mastermind Accelerator program, joined that virtually, learned a lot from that, really did inspire me.
Yeah, so this isn't necessarily an advert for PIN, but it was an accelerator for you.
Yeah.
Right? So it worked specifically for you.
Yeah.
And what you needed to do.
So I shifted from reading in a book that it was a possibility to physically getting trained how to do it, and seeing people that do that, like raise funds and work with other people and all those sort of things. And it just became a reality. And literally I'm like looking for people to joint venture with, raise money from after that. Decided to join the Mastermind program, which was pretty much where we met. We might have met like a PIN before or something like that. And then, that fast-tracked my mindset and going, I can physically raise money. Yeah. The other weird blocker was like, I didn't understand my skill set. Like I knew that...
Or the value of it.
Or the value of it, yeah. So like project management background, I could build projects and deliver them. But it's a job, isn't it?
Yeah.
you don't see it as a skill set. You just see it like, that's the job I do. So obviously when I joined Mastermind, other people probably just saw it in me and were like sort of actively pursuing me without even me even thinking about it. And suddenly I'm like, I've got these really good people I can work with. They've got funds, I was decent at finding deals as well. Decent at managing them. I could team up with people well, and that really, really moved me forward. But it was hard.
Yeah.
Because I was like, especially when I teamed up with people, because it's like they're teaming up with me because I'm a project manager. I was still working full time, doing big developments, and I'm like, I have to manage them because I'm the guy that's the project manager.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even thought like, oh, I can.
How about I hire a project?
How about I hire a project manager and I oversee him? Like I wouldn't even like, oh, I can't do that because I'm the project manager. So I ended up running and I was doing stuff with joint venture partners myself. Plus working,
and obviously we just teamed up as a joint venture.
Just teamed up as well. So I think in that
first time
in that period, I was doing like 10 different projects throughout the year while managing my own build projects and doing that. That was my life, and I was in massive burnout. And it was hard and challenging. Some of them I probably didn't give enough attention to things that I should have, or as detailed as I should be otherwise. And there were challenges as well because material prices went mental, builders became unfinancial because of, the costs that went up and the market that was happening with COVID. It was all really, really challenging.
Yeah.
And then I sort of got to the end of it. I'm like, I've achieved a really good goal here, but fuck, it was hard work.
Yeah.
And then I was sort of in my mind, I'm like, geez, if I find this hard with my skill set, my expertise doing these developments, how hard are other investors finding it that want to do these small scale development projects?
Yeah, which brings us nicely to the next question, which is, obviously at that point we teamed up on a project, but what was it that do you think, why? So why did we team up in your mind post just doing one project to do multiple projects, but then developing a business? And what do you see as a bit of a joint venture partner?
Yeah, so I think initially we teamed up because we sort of got along. We in how we'd met, we lived in local areas. You found a good deal, and you sort of, I suppose, pursued me for that deal in a way to help. To help. So that was the initial stage.
The circumstances were there, weren't they?
Yeah,
there was a synergy.
Yeah.
That we had a project that we could do.
Yeah, and I suppose the relationship just developed over time, didn't it? Because it could have just been one project or a couple maybe or something like that. But obviously it worked. We just worked really well together. I think we were different, but in a good way it helps. Because I think we talk about it a bit, but sometimes you challenge, I challenge, but I think it's generally quite healthy. But I think even early doors we had that sort of thing going on.
Yeah, there's a difference between challenging and arguing, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, and I quite like people that can challenge me because
me too.
I'm not easy to challenge necessarily.
Yeah.
But then I don't really argue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes
I know sometimes I say so and I'm like, oh, he's gonna come back at me, and he's like, and you just like, yeah. I'm like, oh, he's taking that quite well. Yeah. But like, it's a good way to look at it. Sometimes I probably get my back up a little bit initially to start with, and then sometimes I reflect, well, actually, I can kind of see his point here or whatever.
Yeah.
So people do work differently, don't they?
But it's important, I think, if you're going to do a joint venture, that you have an ability to be able to be heard as well, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always sensitive to those things. I know, like, I've done a lot of management training, my blind spots are there.
Yeah.
Sometimes my way or the highway was one of my blind spots, right? So
yeah.
I'm always conscious of that. So you have to take a backward step and go, where's that coming from? Normally it's a position of positivity.
Yeah.
Through a goal or a problem or whatever.
Yeah. And I suppose further to that, so obviously we built that relationship. I think the skill set that you had that I probably lacked a little bit in was like, say, the salesy type stuff.
Sales systems, definitely.
Sales systems, yeah. Like, I was a projects guy, but I had an interest in business and I wanted to do business. So, teaming up with someone that had the sales side of it, that could help, that we could work well together, that appealed. Then you had some ideas about, how we could make some money and help other investors with the way we're going. And it was, it just sort of took off from there. But the value I saw is like, as I learned, it's like, these things, what we're doing are hard, time consuming. So even if you take it back to like, say, sourcing deals, like one of my challenges when I was working full time is like, well, I need to do the viewings. And you ring up the agent, so it looks like a good deal here. I'll ring them up and they're like, all right, when can you do? I'm like, I can do 6 p.m. Tuesday. I can do 10 a.m. Saturday. Yeah. And they're like, I'm sorry, we're only doing viewings at 2 p.m. on Wednesday or whatever. Yeah, you either get to it or you don't. And the market was quite hot, if you remember at that time, in that COVID period. So they're just getting snapped up. I'm like, geez, this is hard. So, it's getting around those sort of things. They're challenging things. Yeah. And then, like I said, with the management of it, just finding the deal, that's hard. And you've got to be able to dedicate time to it.
Yeah.
And you got to keep at it. and then to manage the process throughout is time consuming and challenging as well.
Yeah. And it's also getting your sales message right.
Yeah.
Initially, right? So you are seen to be doing the same thing consistently as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I see in the market at the moment, so one person who's well known in our space talking about differences in values of things. And I think to myself, it's not the value, you've changed, right? You've changed what you used to sell to what you sell today. So it's about getting that sales message right and keeping consistency behind that. And that's the one thing I think we've done really well, which is we do this, this is what we do. And if that's you, then great. And if you look at the values that we have as an organization, I think that's lived.
Yeah.
I think like our mission statement is really clear.
Yeah.
It's a really...
And I suppose that's the important background story. It was so beneficial achieving, what I considered my first level of financial freedom, to give, I could leave my day job. I had more freedom and flexibility than 99% of the population.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we could do a business which I'd enjoy, which would help other people achieve the same thing, and also further help us progress in other ways. So
and maintain it.
And maintain it.
What we've spent ages achieving.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was a problem.
Yeah, having control of the lettings agency that could control it, which took a bit of convincing for you to say it was the right thing, but absolutely it was.
Yeah. Yeah, you just at the time you didn't see, you were fiercely against becoming a lettings agent. You didn't want to be one. It wasn't in your wheelhouse of thinking. And to be fair, it wasn't part of the plan either.
Yeah.
You weren't going to be in that part of the business because the source and build program needed appraisal and project management. So the lettings part was going to be entirely wholly separate.
Yeah.
Okay. You now see it, and you actually quite like the people that we work with.
Yeah, and it's great to be involved in the team.
Yeah,
and
it's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, I've never been as involved in the details as you or now Amber, but
you should be.
As far as the overarching business and being part of that team, it's great to be part of.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is fun. Stop the podcast now. This episode is sponsored by Property Filter. Property Filter is the #1 property tool for today's property professional. It brings in all the data points and sources from all the property portals and auction sites into one convenient place. Then you have the option to overlay all the clever strategies found in the Property Filter blueprint to find motivated sellers faster. Now, we use it on a daily basis. It saves us over 80% of our time when looking for properties. And if that sounds like something that you want in your lives, please go to register.property-filter.co.uk/PPB, which is the discount code for this podcast. You will get 2 weeks free and a discount on your first month. That's it from me. Back to the podcast. So obviously, we cemented this value, isn't it, that you saw that we could bring to other people. And
but it's solving that problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, I've been through it. I know how hard it is. And then I reflect on and this is what I was saying before, it's like, it was super hard for me. I've got the expertise. How much value can I then add to others if I can create a business of that nature that serves other people in that way with those major challenges?
So the hardest things to do are to find great deals, to manage great builds.
Yeah, and deliver it on time, on budget, and all those
tenants
things.
And services.
And great tenanting services,
So they're the hardest things to do. So if you can do those things, in fact, the value is...
Yeah.
It's there, isn't it?
And gel it all together and provide a package.
Yeah.
Yeah. Provide a package for someone.
Yeah, I still don't see any direct competitors. And that's the thing, is like some people try and do some parts, but doing it all, it's hard.
It is. Because different elements work quite differently. So if you took the lettings as an example, it works very differently to the project management build.
If you looked at our compliance schedule of the things we have to have to find it, to be a deal sourcer, if you like.
Yeah.
And then to manage it and the insurances that we need to hold.
And
then to become a lettings agency and all the supervisions that we need there. But our compliance list is nuts for a small to medium business.
Yeah, maybe that's why there's not a lot of competitors. It's a bit of a niche market, but it is very, very high value.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So where are you now with your portfolio and business, in your opinion? And what's been your biggest challenge, do you think?
Yeah. So the business now, we do 20 to 25 projects a year. Probably 20 to 30, I suppose, how you look at it. But for a combination for clients and ourselves, we've capped at that level. We've set the capacity and we build everything around that. And I think that's a big part of the success, is that everything's planned out that way generally. Yeah. So, we've got good build teams, we've got good project managers, we've got good external consultants, architects, brokers, all these sort of people that works quite well and you gel them together.
What about your own portfolio? Because you pivoted we're pivoting here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Both of us at the same time.
Yeah.
Because we're on almost the same timing journey.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that. I suppose that's relative alignment of goals, isn't it? But yeah, so I would say that my portfolio journey was like, we started with a few single lets, wasn't getting to a cash flow goal quick enough. Then I learned, and this is another part of the value of the business, I learned that multi-let, properties, whether it's HMOs or multiple income streams, can get you to a cash flow goal quicker.
Yep.
And also by doing development conversion type work. So we talk about buy, develop, rent, refinance that can, add more value quicker, recycle more funds, add value quicker, achieve more cash flow. Yep. So then I did, quite a decent range of those sort of projects. Whatever you'd say, 10, 15 of them, to get to a decent cash flow goal that, could leave the day job and then progress further. We kept doing it a bit more because, we had the teams in place and, we could raise funds relatively well. And since then we've pivoted more back to more the single let space to diversify a bit. So we're converting a big mill to 10 flats at the moment. Mm-hmm. We're doing some terraces as single lets that are great deals, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, doing a bit more of that, maybe some more blocks of flats and single lets and those sort of things to
trading deals in the mix.
Trading deals as well to add a bit more profit. And I suppose it's, when you're building a portfolio, it's like I did do I raised a lot of money, a lot of leverage, stuff like that. Whereas now it's like we can raise money and give good returns, but also use a lot of profit from our businesses to fund the projects as well.
Yeah, good stuff.
And deleverage a bit over time as well. And,
that's it, isn't it?
Have a real solid asset base for the future.
Highly leveraged stuff is good while you're building your cash flow goals, and then, once you get to a position and you don't need to do that anymore, you should. The objective then is to lower that risk profile
and to keep it and keep building it and keep it and be sustainable.
Keep the cash flow up, keep cash flow high, better profit, better assets, and lower leverage.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, what should be your biggest challenge, do you think? Is it the 10 projects in a year? Or?
Yeah, absolutely that. So I'd say that was a massive challenge. That was hard.
Yeah.
And that...
You didn't say no enough, did you? I think you said yes to pretty much.
Yeah, I said yes to too many things. Yeah. So the ultimate result now is good. Because that's what people say to me all the time. It's like, why did you say in your talk that wasn't a good idea? I'm like, maybe I don't explain it too much. But basically, I was like, I could have ended my relationship like Amy.
You didn't look well.
I didn't look well, put on weight, I was burnt out, all these sort of things. So I was probably lucky that I didn't have proper health problems. That's just luck, I suppose. But I probably had a few health problems, aged a lot and all those sort of things. So it was stressful. But I suppose the lucky side of it in a way, I did work really hard because I knew at some point I might have a young family. So I was trying to do these things before kids.
And you developed a lot of good relationships to look and support you in the longer run, right?
Yeah, as well. Yeah, so I had a real focus on building relationships and network and stuff like that that'd be solid. So yeah, that was hard. And then I'd say, a few years later, more of the challenge is having young kids and a family while also trying to build businesses, and balancing time and all those sort of things. I think that's an ongoing challenge.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't miss anything.
But that's also part of the challenge. It's like, I don't know what it was last Monday or something. There's a sports and it's that's booked out. I'm definitely going.
Yeah.
But Mondays are our busiest day, aren't they?
Yeah, but you could always say that. Anything.
Some of that is probably a lot in my head because I just I like doing so much and taking so much action.
Anxiety, isn't it?
It's a busy anxiety. So yeah, probably a lot of it's in my head.
The guilt of taking time away is
guilt of it, or it's I could be doing that, Yeah. But yeah, it's physically just booking and taking it and taking those trips, doing those key things. That there's huge benefits there.
Yeah, absolutely. And being able to travel to your family, have family stay with you.
Yeah.
Not recommended full time for long periods of time. But yeah, I mean, it gives you the opportunity to be around, right? And just be there for the things that you want to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the goal, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no point spending time with people who don't matter. And what I mean by that is how many relationships have you taken from work that you would class as close personal relationships today? I can't.
Yeah, from working a job. Yeah, that was one of my worries when I left. I'm going to really miss these people. I've caught up with one or two for a drink.
Yeah. And
obviously you got the choice, so that means you haven't really missed them, have you? So
no. And I liked a lot of the people who I worked with, right? Similar and similar people, and the thing that I always came, but they're not part of your life. Do you know what I mean? The people that are part of your life are the ones that you're gonna really build long-term valued relationships with. I think when you get into property and get into this sort of like environment, think about the people you hang around with now.
They're more like-minded people, aren't they?
Yeah, much more. Like I couldn't see not knowing Tim in 10 years.
Yeah,
example, I couldn't see not.
Same with most of my partners.
And Joe and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're just really
great. And people I couldn't see me not knowing them.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. Even though I not like hanging around with them every weekend. I couldn't see me not knowing them.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's different, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Right. Top tips. What top tips can you give investors out there looking to make a success in property, but more specifically, this BDRR that we now call it?
Yeah, so I suppose initially understanding your limitations and understanding like what skill set you can bring and then who you need to team up with for these projects, because ultimately at buy, develop, rent, refinance, there's a team there. You can never do it yourself. There's certain things you might be able to do, like you might be good at finding deals, that's great. Then, or you might be good at finding deals and raising finance, excellent skills to have. Then you need more of the different personality types that can deliver it, build up the teams and all these sort of people. So understand your limitations, your strengths, weaknesses. And I'm obviously joint venture partnerships and partnerships have worked really well for me. Not all of them been perfect, by the way, but I think it's people go, oh no, I just want to take all the return. So I think, to be sustainable in the business, it's good to have people that you can work with for one, and it's people you can talk to, bounce ideas off or whatever. If I don't even know how you do that on your own. Obviously you have to join more other groups and things like that to push you forward, because it can be very lonely. So I don't think shy away from doing joint ventureships, but then you also have to be very, very careful who you're teaming up with, why you're doing it, and all those sort of things.
Surround yourself with people who are willing to, who aren't just about the there and then as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so if you think about the things that we've supported each other for and on, there's projects that you had in that year of 10 projects that I visited on your behalf because you couldn't get there and I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Right? And vice versa. And it's like, it's about,
it's a support network.
Some of the parts, it is that building that supporting environment and network of people that you can rely upon to help you, right? And with similar goals and mindsets. Yeah. Because there's value in that.
Yeah. And it's a little bit of like who, not how, isn't it? It's a good learning. So, don't think you have to do something because that's that skill set. Think of what you need to do to bring forward. That's my big learning is like, I offer a project management service, but I've, guys who do the day to day, and then I can, focus on.
I still remember when you tried to broach that with me and you looked almost nervous because it was like, you were asking me whether it was a good idea to hire a project manager. I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Of course it is, yeah. But it's bonkers, isn't it? But that's the mindset blocker, isn't it?
Yeah. Please do that. Yeah, 100%. Like, how many do we need, and when do we budget them in, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It should. That's that.
And a classic other examples are someone that say like a builder that wants to be an investor or do this sort of business. It's like it's a good skill set you're building because you can oversee other builders, but don't get on the tools and manage the day to day.
I'm not a builder anymore. I can't have the same conversation with you. Like, it's like the same thing all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's even harder to get out of that. Because of the years and years of way they've worked, etc. But lots of other professions that do the same, isn't it? Like if you're an interior designer, if you want to be a developer, you might need to just let go of the detail of the fabrics and colours.
And I try to explain to the builder, say, well, if you give me the works, I'll just cut out all of the profits. So you're just working for free. Like, what's your motivation? Like, no, don't do that. Do the projects that you're doing and be an investor on this one. You can obviously comment, but you don't have to do that for this one. And that's the bit, isn't it?
Yeah, because you got the knowledge, you can oversee it, but you don't have to have you and your physical team doing it.
How are you going to hold yourself to account if you're late?
Yeah, I suppose like finding the people, and then it's knowing like if they're good and why they're good.
And sometimes you don't know until the proof's in the pudding, right?
Yeah, but you can definitely ask people that have worked with those people before, because there's red flags if they don't give you those people, and there's also red flags depending on what they say. So that's one very, very easy check that most people just don't do.
It's the ability to face challenges head on, isn't it? Yeah, and not shy away. A lot of people bury heads. I find that some people are actually worried more about the problem than getting to the solution. And they would rather bury their head about the problem than actually just face it and get on with it. And resolve it.
And take yourself, if you've got a problem and you're sitting there on your laptop and you're worried about it, literally move out from that environment and you might solve it.
Yeah, go for the wander.
Or go for a walk, go for a coffee, talk to someone, then suddenly you get the solution. Because sometimes you think, oh, geez, I can't find a solution for this. It's weird. Or like,
Yeah, sometimes you ring me
yeah,
and you just go, I've got a problem. And I just sit there for a couple of minutes and just listen. I don't even know what the solution is.
yeah. But that's weird, isn't it? But like,
Yeah.
just the fact that I've gone for a walk and called you and like said that, and it's like, yeah, I've come up with it. Whereas I was literally sitting on my computer going, oh fuck, I don't know how to solve this, which is weird, isn't it? Because I do, and like most people do, they just think they don't. It's an unusual circumstance, isn't it?
Yeah. Good stuff. So yeah, good stuff. I think that's it.
Hope that covers enough. And
gives us a reason for willing. And of course, the mission statement is
to help as many of our clients achieve and maintain financial freedom. And our vision is
to be the best at it.
Yeah, basically just be the best, isn't it? Or we say to be the best portfolio building business in the UK, or stay the best is maybe ready to do it. But
keep being the best at it.
Yeah,
that's the one. Right, lovely. So thank you very much for joining us once again on the Financial Freedom Podcast. Hope you enjoyed Tim's founder story and a little bit about the passion and the reasons that we're here today. There is a little bit of self-reflection in these things and the reason that we do it, but hopefully it inspires you to get out and do stuff in property and find good networks and find good people. The one thing that's run through today was it was a lot about the people. I think that's a lot about the people that you can find within these environments.
Working with great people.
Yeah. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can do. We have a dedicated email address. It's podcast@invest-prop.co.uk. And if you haven't done so already, please do like and or subscribe on whatever platform you're looking at to stay ahead with our newest episodes. And we'll catch you on the next one. So thanks, Tim, and bye for now.
Bye for now. Until the next one.
Thank you once again for joining us on the Financial Freedom Podcast, sponsored by us at Property Portfolio Building. If you want to get in touch with us about today's podcast or any of the learning topics that we've gone through today, you can email us at podcast@invest-prop.co.uk or get in touch with us with whichever your social media platform of choice is. If you think you would add value to us as a guest on this podcast, you can please get in touch and let us know what you would be able to talk to us about. Other than that, we wish you well on your financial freedom journeys. And once again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.